which leads us to this one. Everybody hates it. I mean, it's our job. We have to point fingers. The developers don't like it, but it's fact. There is no bug-free software anywhere. It doesn't. It doesn't. There's an industry average between 5 and 50 bugs for every 1,000 lines of code. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there are 900,000 lines of code in the console and in the agent. 900,000. That's like, even on the low end, we're still hitting 50,000 bugs. We can't find them all. I mean, that's why you guys are here. It's impossible. You can't say, I found the bug. You know, I had a boss that told me, you can't say, I found the bug. That's like saying, I killed the cockroach. I mean, it's not possible. There are so many you don't see. So, and then there are things that we can't test against. We have no idea. I mean, there's environmental bugs. Like, we don't know. We don't have every operating system and every installed piece of software that our users have. And we know they have some funky stuff. They got 14 firewalls. They got 3 different AV products. That, you know, they're running Outlook Express and Outlook. You know, so there's no way. And then there are the corner cases, which, for some reason, you know, the guy's running 14 firewall products. No, it's not ever going to happen to anyone. You know, right. But we're not going to develop to that. We can't. And I'm not going to test to that because it's impossible. Every corner case, it's impossible. And then there's the contrived bugs, and those are the ones I love. Like, I was known for finding contrived bugs, like finding things in a list box that you can drag out to the desktop and crash the program. Like, Brett Lowry hates when I do that stuff. And he's like, who would do that? I was like, well, I did. Bug. Sorry. I did it. And he's like, but it's contrived. And I'm like, I did it. So somebody's going to do it. So this is what it looks like. This is, hey, I found a bug. So we put it in Test Track. Test Track is just a big SQL database that we use. It keeps track of all the products. It keeps track of the priorities of the bugs. It keeps all the information. We can attach logs and dump files, and we pass them amongst each other. You know, when Jason will open a bug, and it'll get assigned to me, and I'll say, well, there's nothing I can do about this, so I just give it to a developer. Like, fix it. It's a known bug. I mean, Jason had all the information. There's nothing I can add. So it's done, so I just give it to them. But this is the screen when you open it. This is all the details that you can put in, the product, what component of the product, the GUI or the scanner or the rootkits, or, you know, so that we know how to better assign them to developers. I don't know if you guys work with Test Track or not. I know Jason does. So I just wrote this up. The verbiage is not important. I just for this benefit. So this is typical. We say, this is the way it goes. You have a bug. No, that's not a bug. It's not a bug. So we show them. Look, we bring them to the machine, and in many cases, we take the machine to them. Look, I'll take a desktop right to them, plug it in. Look, here's the bug. No, that's a corner case. That's not going to happen to anyone. It's rare. I'm not going to fix it. You know, it's not important. It's low priority. And you're like, no, look how easy I can reproduce this. Like, look, it happens every time. Look how easy it is. No, that's contrived. It's only happening because you're making it happen. Honest to God, this is a conversation that happens every time we open a bug. It sounds funny, but this is so on. I showed it to Mike Malone, the development manager, and he said, I think you forgot a couple steps. That's true. So you say it's contrived, and you go, no, look, here's support tickets. It's happening. It's not just contrived. Support's reporting it. This is actually a bug. And they're like, no, that's not my bug. No, and they'll pass it around amongst each other. And this process can take a day or a week, or depending. I mean, we have developers in Spain. If they assign something to the guy in Spain, anytime in the afternoon, he leaves the office for siesta at 5. He's not going to get it until the next day. And then once he looks through it, if he's got time, you know, we're looking at 2 days loss. So it's not my bug. But he's admitted now that it's a bug. And then you go, well, look, here's the logs. And it's in AP. And I know you wrote AP. So this is definitely your bug. I mean, this is what we have to do then. We have to walk them through this process every time. And they're like, well, that's been there forever. Come on, seriously. I haven't touched that code in years. And I'm surprised it took you. So they deflect. They put it back on me. They deflect. They say, I'm surprised it took you this long to find it. Like, oh, I wasn't doing my job because I didn't find your bug quick enough. And then they end it with, I can fix that in 5 minutes. And then literally the next morning I get the build and the bug's fixed. And they, in Test Track, they flip the bug to fix. They assign it back to me. I retest it. I'm like, you know, what's that so difficult? I got to go through this just to get you to fix your bug? It's totally true. I can't make this up. I can't be this funny.
And it's not particular to this company.
Right. So this is it. Like we say, you know, is it really a bug? yes, it's definitely a bug, then the developer can fix it. He's got to find a way to fix it. That's his job. That's why we pay them. And the developer says, no, that's not a bug. It's written the way it's supposed to. That's a feature. So you assign it to the PM, and the PM says, like whether or not it was a feature. If the PM says, no, I designed it that way, well, then you give it to the PM. It's a bad design. It's poor design. It needs to be fixed. Obviously, if it didn't meet my expectations, I think it was poorly designed. So was it poorly designed? Yes, you assigned it to the PM. If the PM says, no, that's exactly the way I want it to work, then you give it back to the developer because it's a bug, and he's got to fix it. So ultimately, you got to run through this again. So, and we really do run through these conversations, and those are the options. This is what the flow looks like. So we get the build. The PM designs the features and gives the build, and he gives it to the dev manager who assigns it to an engineer. And they give it to us, and if there's a bug, we send it back to the development manager who gives it to an engineer, and this cycle can take weeks, depending. Sometimes sometimes it's not their fault. They say it's fixed, and then the build that they pushed the code source they pushed it into didn't get built, or some didn't get picked up, and I'm retesting the same exact code without knowing the difference. Or I read something wrong, and it's still my fault. But so that's the way it goes, and it runs through this cycle over and over until finally we say it's done. And then QA says, you're right, it's fixed, and we'll close it and we'll ship the product. Ultimately, it comes a point. We can test software forever. Even like we said, at minimum, it's 50,000 bugs in enterprise. Minimum. Of course, we all know there's more than that. The code that's been in there is the same code that's reworked over and over. The only thing that's really changed recently, there was the addition of the firewall stuff, but the interface. So the interface, you're not going to have a lot of bugs on the interface. So ultimately, you have to get to a point where you're comfortable enough to go, all right, ship it. And then you just cross your fingers and close your eyes and cross your legs and you wish. And, you send it out on duct tape in a dream. You do, and you can test forever, but eventually you have to go well, the bugs I'm finding are minor. We're not getting a lot of complaints from the beta forums, so let's see how it works in the real world, and you kick it out. And like we found on the last one, there were the console redesign was just the biggest pain in the butt ever, and you guys paid the price dearly for that. And what really sucked is everyone blamed me. They're like, QA screwed everybody. And I was like, wait a minute, let's ask support what their top 5 problems are. What are their calls? And every one of those was design issues. They couldn't find, they couldn't fix, And I was like, thank God it wasn't me. So, but luckily, because of the support tickets and everything you guys went through, now we have fixes for it, and there's yet another redesign coming. We're making the installer, I guess, is going to be much simpler and easier to go through. So that's the final word. The final word QA says that's it. The buck stops here. We either ship it or we don't ship it. And it's a lot of weight on my shoulders sometimes. Like I've been doing it to Steve recently. Like, Steve, can we ship it? Because I want him to feel the pressure. And he's like, I don't know. Well, we ran the tests. I'm like, I understand that. Are you still finding bugs? Well, we ran the tests. Can we ship it? Start a sign-off sheet. So then the sign-off sheet is instituted. Yeah. That's why we need the Rasta bar, because Steve can't answer the question. And so the configuration management starts a sign-off process, and then all the interested parties are on that sign-off sheet. Vice presidents, marketing managers, product managers, and beta coordinators on the beta sign-off sheet. And then I'm on it, support's on it. Everybody knows there's no surprise. There's a new version coming out, and I hope you're well prepared, because we checked it the best we could, but we only have so many environments and so much time. So we just kick it out and hope for the best. So we all click yes on the sign-off sheet. Approve. We click approve on the sign-off sheet. There used to be a physical sign-off sheet that I would have to walk around the office shaking. I take it up to Lori Murrell, and I'm like, here's a new version. And she would be like, really? And then I would have to take it to Mark Patton, who would ask me the question, is it ready to go? And I'm like, I signed the sheet. And then I would take it to whatever product manager, and he's like, thank God, you're done. They never questioned it. Product managers never. All they just want to ship the software, because then they can give birth to the next one. Here's what I've been working on, and that's the whole process. That's what QA does, and I'm done.